Thank you, Mark. Stores in Vancouver are now among those in Washington selling pot for recreational use. Hundreds waited in line at Main Street Marijuana. Among them, Oregonians, which begs the question, is Oregon missing out on tax revenue? We bring you News Channel 8 team coverage, starting with Pat Doris live outside that pot store. Pat?
Well, I'll tell you, it's calmed down here just a little bit, although they're sort of expecting an afternoon rush now as people get off work. But earlier today, about 500 people waited during the rush for the opening. Mayor Tim Levitt was here and cut the ceremonial ribbon, and then at 11 o'clock, the doors opened. The very first customer in the door, Mark Edwards from Salem, Oregon. The management team put their store here specifically to attract Oregon buyers. But remember, you have to smoke it in Washington to be legal. Siobhan Gill and Ben Sturgis are doing just that. We followed them home to their Vancouver apartment as they lit up their first ever bong of legal pot.
I'm a part of history. I bought weed legally, and I'm legally allowed to come back to my house, sit on my couch, and enjoy it. I don't have to be paranoid about, ooh, what happens if the police are next door and they smell it. Okay.
I got to tell you, felt a little bit odd sitting with them videotaping as they got high. I'll bet some of you at home feel the same way, but it is the law here. Might take a little bit for everybody to get used to the images. By the way, she raved about the quality and the potency. Back live now, Main Street Marijuana started the day with about 7 pounds of pot and expects to sell much of it, but not all today. They say they'll be open till 7 o'clock tonight. Back to you.
It is an interesting sight. Thank you, Pat. Retailers in Washington are seeing green with the legal sale of marijuana, but the state will certainly get its share. Tonight, Unit 8 follows the money. Our Kylie Boshi is here to explain how much the state will get and if Oregon could cash in too. Kyle?
Tracy, no question, folks in Washington are seeing dollar signs. They're hoping to cash in on pot sales through heavy taxes, just like Colorado.
Marijuana sales are beating expectations on every level.
And the marijuana industry is making a lot of money.
Well, the money sounds great, right? Washington estimates it could see $586 million from pot between 2015 and 2019. But hold on, says one of the architects of Washington's marijuana policy. He warns revenues won't last long. Retail prices will eventually fall because pot is cheap and easy to produce.
Natural price of producing cannabis is relatively low, and it's going to be very difficult with a percentage of price tax to capture any substantial amount of revenue. 40% of nothing is nothing.
Pro-marijuana supporters hope to put an initiative on the Oregon ballot in November. If approved, they estimate retail sales of marijuana would generate $40 million in taxes. But that money's already earmarked for schools, state and local police, and drug treatment and health programs. They admit it alone won't solve the state's budget problems. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Kyle.